What's up, wrestling fans? How you guys doing? Now, I know that we've been over it on Out of Nowhere. I've been over it on many other shows, but Backlash, we're almost there. And I want to see what you guys have to say leading into the final few hours here as we lead up to this probably what will be a throwaway pay-per-view, throwaway special event, WWE Network, whatever you want to call it. So let me go over quickly and run down this deal. And shout out to all the people that make this video possible on patreon.com/Joe Cronin Show. If you guys want to support, patreon.com/Joe Cronin Show is where to go. I'll plus all the bonus content on there. So we got the Kickoff, Ruby Riott versus Bayley. Now, if those girls were given, and I call people boys and girls, by the way, but nowadays you got to be careful. You call someone a girl, and then they're like, "You're a piece of crap, misogynist." Oh. Even though I called the Bruins boys the other day. Anyway, we're getting off track. But Ruby Riott versus Bayley. I think Bayley will get the win. Maybe interference and she loses, but I'm going to go ahead and say Bayley just picks up a win. Little feel-goody pre-show match. Then there's a SmackDown... then there's Braun Strowman and Bobby Lashley versus Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. Obviously, I believe Braun Strowman, Bobby Lashley, they're going to take a victory there. Daniel Bryan versus Big Cass. That is going to be a very interesting match. I think that this has become a lot more interesting than I think it was going to be, or at least I thought it was going to be. I'm sure they thought whatever they thought, but I'm going to go ahead and say that, I agree with what we said the other day on Out of Nowhere. And if you missed Out of Nowhere, go back and watch it. You may be missing many of my videos because YouTube is not pushing any of them. So make sure you guys click the bell, click the subscribe, unclick and re-click them, select the correct option down below. Make sure you subscribe to my channel down below for more of the commentaries. We're talking wrestling all the time here on this channel. Make sure you subscribe to all three of my YouTube channels. This one, and Corrupted, and JCS Gaming, which all the links are down below. Become a patron, then you'll get alerts on all my videos, since YouTube doesn't want to do it. Daniel Bryan versus Big Cass. I'm going to go ahead and say that, I really think that Daniel Bryan's going to get the victory here, and then Big Cass will just lay him out, and that's how it will end. Or possibly it could be a DQ situation where they get disqualified, and then, maybe Big Cass does something crazy to Daniel Bryan on the outside, throwing his head into the pole, or like doing something where it seems like he put Daniel Bryan in jeopardy. But maybe that will still happen with Daniel Bryan winning, and then Big Cass then putting him in jeopardy, and then forwarding the feud. If I was booking it, I'd have, I'd probably have Bryan win fairly, and then Cass attacks him, and then I'd probably have Big Cass win the next time they face each other with some kind of dirty tactics, and then go back to your Daniel Bryan gets the hero victory. Classic, typical thing. But it's more about the match and the story that they can tell. Hopefully that's interesting. And hopefully the matches are good. I mean, even if one or two of them's kind of throwaway, if it entertains us, we'll be happy. So I'm going Daniel Bryan there. Samoa Joe versus Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns has lost so much that I would be shocked if he were to lose again. If Roman Reigns was to lose clean, it would tell you that they really, for some reason, even though they pushed him to the moon, now gave up, and now they're going to push Samoa Joe. But it really feels like Roman Reigns is going to get the victory here after all the losses, the pushes he's had, and then the not reward. This, I would think, is where you'd have to reward him. I mean, you guys know how I feel about Roman Reigns. They need to make him heel. They need to make him a badass. I've given you hundreds of examples of how they could do it and what they could do to Roman Reigns to make him way more interesting than he is. He's still one of the most interesting guys on the card, even with how he's booked. And you could really harness that. You could harness that energy and turn the fans into a frenzied crowd, I think. But they just don't do it. They won't take the chance on it. And the fans have just become terrible. The storytelling, WWE has become, it's a microcosm or whatever of the whole thing. It's an example of the whole company at this point. The fans, the crowd, the decisions, the show, just lackluster. And watch the ratings die. Watch the ratings die. So I'm going with Roman Reigns here. Charlotte Flair versus Carmella. SmackDown Women's Championship. Carmella just won it by cashing in. I think it is entirely possible they could go back to Charlotte, but it doesn't seem like that. Maybe there'll be interference with the women, and Asuka will have to come out and things like that, and there'll be some kind of situation. But I think Carmella will retain. It'd be way too early, I think, to take it off of her at this point. But if they did, talk about zero confidence. And I know they love Charlotte, so I can't see Carmella winning clean. So something weird has to happen here, whether it's a count-out, a disqualification. I would think that Carmella's newly acquired friends would show up, and then that's what would cause Becky Lynch and Asuka to show up, maybe even, leading their rivalry as a 3-on-3 or a 6-woman tag going forward, delaying this. So I'm going to say Carmella retains the title. I just don't know, exactly who will win. Maybe Charlotte wins by DQ or something. Alexa Bliss versus Nia Jax. I think Nia Jax retains the title here. I don't know how that will happen, but she'll retain. I forgot about the Amazon dot. I just said everybody's dots off. Alexa, stop. Jesus. Sorry, everybody. Randy Orton versus Jeff Hardy. WWE United States title match. Randy Orton versus Jeff Hardy. I like Jeff Hardy's chemistry as of late with guys like Jinder Mahal, Jinder Mahal has been just garbage usually. But Jeff Hardy and him had really good chemistry despite a massive botch on Jinder and the Whisper in the Wind situation. But he's brought the best out of Jinder, and maybe Orton and Hardy can bring something out of Orton if Orton gives a damn. If Orton gives a damn and Hardy works hard, this could be a fun match. It could be a match where I actually come out saying I liked a Randy Orton match, because usually Randy Orton matches, hey, an RKO, and I don't care about anything else. And at this point, Randy doesn't have to do anything else. I get it. But as a fan, I'm usually bored by him. But I'm going to say that Jeff Hardy hangs on to the United States Championship. And it's possible that they're looking to push him even further. But right now, I would think he would hold on to the U.S. title. And then the Intercontinental Championship is on the line. The Miz versus Seth Rollins. This is our first co-branded pay-per-view, by the way, other than WrestleMania, which obviously co-branded. It's WrestleMania. But now you're seeing that sort of transition in here. We're seeing all these titles on the line, which I think gives way more meaning to the show, which is very interesting. But sometimes I am a little bit concerned that the show could become like title-heavy. And there's already so many titles in the WWE that if it starts to feel like every match is a title on the line, it actually takes away from the titles. It really does. I always would prefer if there was 1, 2, or 3 title matches a night. But, looking at this, you think about it, WWE title, Intercontinental title, United States title, Women's title, SmackDown Women's title. That's 5 titles are on the line at this show, which, sometimes that sounds great. But sometimes it's too much. Sometimes I like it, but I don't know. There's just so many damn titles. There's too many tag belts, the double women's stuff. At this point, they should really just have the one women's division. Get rid of one of the men's tag titles. Get rid of one of the women's titles. Add a tag team women's division. And now you've subtracted one of the titles, and you've added one that helps the women. And then there's one women's champion, and it makes things so much better. I wish there was no universal champion either. If they could do away with that, that would be nice. And it would be much better if there was one WWE World Heavyweight Champion. And there was Intercontinental, United States, Women's, Men's Tag, Women's Tag. You're done. It's over. You got it. Or I would even be okay with maybe okay with making a women's mid-card belt. But having 2 women's SmackDown, women's Raw, I think that takes away so much. Anyway, get off track, but there's my opinion. Miz versus Seth Rollins. I think Seth Rollins will retain. And no DQ match. Shinsuke Nakamura versus AJ Styles. This one's hard to predict, guys. I mean, Nakamura needs something. It feels like they're setting up for AJ to win, though, off of low-blowing Shinsuke, because Shinsuke's been doing all these low blows to him. He's been getting the upper hand. I would really think that based on the track record, think about it. Shinsuke has gotten the upper hand every time on AJ Styles almost. And even the last time we saw them. Usually that means the champion or the other person will then win. You would think that all signs point to AJ Styles winning, and he may even use a low blow. And then Shinsuke can say AJ cheated to win or whatever. And they're like, well, it was a no DQ match or whatever. But it does take away a little bit from Nakamura if AJ then hits him in the nads and wins the title, right? It does take away from him. It would make more sense if Shinsuke were to hit him in the balls and then become the champion off a low blow, even in a no DQ match. So I don't understand where they're going with this story here. I don't know what they're going to do. They could do so many different things. And I don't know what to tell you, because if Shinsuke doesn't win, where do they go after that? The only way they can go anywhere is if, again, AJ uses a low blow, and then he says, well, no, I'll beat you one-on-one, without a no DQ match. I'll beat you fair next time. I'll give you one more match. I'm not proud of what I did, but it was a no disqualification match and I won it. It's like, but I'll give you another shot, with correct rules or something like that. And then Shinsuke could say, okay, then they have a match, right? And there's a referee. It's not no disqualification. It's a clean match. And then Shinsuke low blows AJ Styles in that match while the referee's not looking. And then Shinsuke becomes the champion. That's how I would book it. AJ wins by using a low blow. Or maybe not even that. If you don't want the champion, you don't want the good guy AJ Styles to look a little dirty by using a low blow on Shinsuke, even though he well within his rights to do it now that it's a no DQ and Shinsuke has done it to him a bunch of times. Whatever, give him the Styles Clash on the steps or something outside the ring. AJ retains. Shinsuke says it wasn't really fair, the no DQ, whatever else. AJ can't help but accept another match because he wants to beat him fair and square to prove it. Then Shinsuke low blows him in that match and cheats to win the title. That's how I would book it. I don't know what they're going to do. Not really sure. But that's my final thoughts on Backlash coming up here. WWE Backlash, guys. My name is Joe Cronin. This is youtube.com/Joe Cronin Show. Hit the subscribe button down below. Don't miss out on my daily podcasts, videos, and other news. Plus my other channels, youtube.com/Corrupted Podcast. We're talking about maker support not paying people because Stripe won't pay people. They're holding people's money hostage. Maker Studios is the alternative to Patreon. They're holding people's money hostage because Stripe says that some of the maker support people are alt-right or they support Donald Trump or something. So Stripe is holding everybody's money and they refuse to pay everybody. So anybody who has a maker support account, their money is in limbo right now. That's a big story right now that I don't think enough people are talking about. I have a maker account too because it's like Coke and Pepsi, Patreon and Maker. So I figured, well, I'll make a maker platform too. But I'm not getting paid on there because apparently they're saying that, like, Stripe won't pay because a couple people are on Maker who are, like, alt-right or something, and which I don't get it. I don't understand that at all. So Stripe is basically holding people's money hostage. By the way, they're holding black people's money hostage, who, if they're saying some of these people are, like, alt-right or they're Nazis or whatever the hell Stripe is making up over there, well, I mean, some of the people are black. Some of the people are liberals. I'm an independent. Why are you holding our money? But they are over at Maker. So that's a big story. I'm going to be talking about that later. Plus, we're going to have our Marvel Avengers spoiler review at 5 o'clock, hopefully at 5 o'clock on Corrupted, my other YouTube channel, youtube.com/Corrupted Podcast. So come on over there and check that out. We'll be talking about entertainment news, the stuff I just talked to you about Maker. And, of course, I'll have my bonus content tonight on Patreon. And we'll be live. We will be live on youtube.com/Corrupted Podcast tonight for the Backlash review live on Corrupted. So please come over to my Corrupted channel where we'll be live. We're not able to go live from this YouTube channel because I said some naughty words or something. So YouTube strike this. Obviously, I can't go live here on Joe Cronin Show until July 2nd, which is why you need to come over to Patreon and support what we do on Patreon. We don't get paid anymore here. YouTube's taken all the ad revenue away. They've censored me. So come over to patreon.com/Joe Cronin Show where you guys can hear the uncensored stuff, plus all the bonus content 6 to 8 hours a week on Patreon. You can become a patron for $1, $2. That gets you a lot of stuff. But for $5 a month, you get a ton of stuff. $10 gets you everything. But even for just $2, you get a whole ton of stuff. Go read it on patreon.com/Joe Cronin Show. Check it out. Just take a look at it. See if it's for you. If you want to support, then that's how you guys can help me out if you want to help. Thanks to Rocco1, who just became a patron. Man, thank you for the support. $5 a month, Rocco. He'll be getting a Morning Madness Corrupted podcast, downloads, all MP3. My whole library will be available to you guys, plus bonus. Plus John Amantia, Joe Compton upped his pledge from 5 to 25. Johnny Ray Sinister from 25 to 30. Kevin Carter from 5 to 10. So thank you guys so much. See you guys tonight live after Backlash on my other YouTube channel. We have to do it over there because of YouTube censoring me. YouTube.com/corrupted podcast. See you guys there tonight. If you guys missed these other videos, check out these other videos. And if you want to take a look at my Patreon and see what it's all about, it's on the top right-hand corner of your screen right now. Patreon.com/Joe Cronin Show. Or hit me up for free on Twitter. Let's talk during Backlash. Let's tweet each other and shit. @RealCronin on Twitter. @RealCronin. See you guys tonight for Backlash. I had to get all the plugs in at the end. That was a lot of mouthful, I know.